We'll need a strategy.
No, wait! Just a second!
Navia? You're awake. Good.
I must have been dreaming. Malus and Silver were still alive, and they were...
It looks like you're all right.
Did all the sad feelings cause you to have a nightmare? Paimon could...
The ruins you were exploring suffered a cave-in. When I arrived, I found you were just about to be dissolved.
What is it?
I think I saw 2 Oceanids protecting you. It was only for a moment, perhaps even a fraction of a second. But they gave me the chance to... Were it not for their intervention, I...
Wait! Did you say Oceanids?
Perhaps those 2 Ocean...
I always told them that they didn't have...
Please come with me.
Neverlet, are you okay?
Oh, I am quite all right.
Why do you look so stiff all of it? Oh, Paimon knows.
I merely thought that we should give no...
Huh? Why didn't you just say...
Ah, Sigewin.
No way, don't worry.
I see. Well, that is good. I have always worried that Siege...
Oh, and the Duke also said...
Thank you. I have indeed been busy lately, and I also hope that everything is going well in the Fortress of Meropide.
He still does... So, Neverlet...
Yet?
This isn't going in...
Yes, in fact. I had arranged to meet you in Poisson, but when I arrived, I discovered that the Fatui... Amid my astonishment, I ran into the knave, and we had a chat. She informed me that she had asked you to investigate the ancient ruins here.
Yeah, we originally planned to meet up with you, but...
I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting like that. I'm feeling much better now. I guess we should get going again. Will you come with us, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
All right! Another one joins the party! Let's get going then!
Away now. Have a safe trip.
Oh no! Another unstable path! Watch your step! Watch out! They're not falling over here!
Yeah.
Seems we're almost at the top. Keep it up! Hold the line!
A moment, please. Stay cool and face your gift.
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden spaces in the vicinity.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Stone slates. It seems like they were put here as an offering. Could we take them?
Perhaps we should just leave them be for now.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate
And the surrounding walls.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see. Reason dictates that this nation be destroyed. I shall record the history of its future here in its...
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a...
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes.
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's a whole bunch of...
And is that Lady Farina in the third image? Did the Hydro Archon fall?
And is that a ring of...
The fourth image. I know this one.
The people will all be dissolved in... More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it.
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Ooh, the Paimon's getting the chills just looking at these slates. This says that it's the history of the future, right? That means the prophecy's sure to come true.
I really hope it doesn't mean that.
Still, Paimon feels like these images are kind of weird when you look at them together.
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before the third? Where the Hydro Archon her—
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by timing, Lady Farina only emerges in the third image. That—
Egeria, then. I had never met the previous Archon kneeling before the floating island.
Did she herself commit that sin? Also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all.
But who would have created...
It seems that any further clues will have to come.
In that case, there's no time to lose.
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Let's split up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina. You know how it is. There's some things you just need to be there for.
You still have energy?
Just head back to the Fleuve Cendre and have a—
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work. Traveler, I will go talk to... I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office.
Are you really gonna...
She has long been harboring secrets, and will not give them...
Alright, we'll leave it in your...
I will be carefully...
Traveler, Paimon. Our safe house at the Fleuve Cendre. All right.
We're finally back!
Welcome back. We've got a special menu prepared for you two tonight.
Yay! And there's good food too! Navi! Ooh, Paimon's already starting to forget what...
Oh, that voice. Is that who I...
Huh?
It's you two.
Mona?
Seriously, nobody just...
Still, we didn't expect to see you here.
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city. Why did you think I was from Fontaine? Well, I used to have my own surname, which was... There was nothing for it, really. Nope. Although it is used by us...
Wow!
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well. Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
Whoa, that's a lot.
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the...
Thrice as great?
I know, right? That's just how she is. She...
Talk about it.
Megistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak.
That sounds terrible. But anyway, you're not Fontaine.
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes. My parents migrated...
Oh, that's a good thing then.
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that there's something ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean. That was the main reason, yes. Just a while back, the Steambird the invitation was sent quite early on.
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona?
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist. I'm afraid that this is not something that... But on the flip side, the prophecy is so...
A visionary?
Of course. The old hag could do it.
Thanks, Mona. You're a mix...
Oh, well...
That's the greatest of astrologists for you!
Indeed,
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about. If there's anything you need...
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now.
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy giving us suspicious looks. Right, but we were able to recruit Mona's help. Good morning. To be honest, Paimon's still feeling kind of sleepy. But it's time to get up.
You're here! Monsieur Durvalette and Lady Farina... Like I said, I've already explained everything!
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
You mean...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster. I will say this once more. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates and some ink.
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't... But you found them in...
That's correct. Which is why I came to ask you some questions. The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a...
I don't. I've never...
I'll ask you again. Do you... My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria...
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing? I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to tell you.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but there are several indications that you have been investigating the... This is not strange in itself. You have never been as superficial as you have...
Well, since you know about my secret, there's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but just trust in me. You're Archon, and do it. That's all I have to say. We do not discuss... Oh!
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door?
I assume you've been outside...
Oh! You...
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. How did... Still, I do not understand. Dialogue. Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. We may have to create a situation.
Oh?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing...
But Farina's seen so many trials.
We will need to consider this thoroughly. Join... If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but... We must prevent... This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses... But who will lend us their aid?
Well, that's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world.
that's what families should do. Sit and enjoy a leisurely time together.
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me?
Then, how about you, good sir?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as...
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things.
That was a little long-winded.
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, as for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together.
Oh, how intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned.
Huh?
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice.
I see. And
He is glad that you can see...
in that case, do any of you have experience
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we...
I've also...
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine, though that was their name, they did not hunt animals. But today, Fontaine's monster population has already... A trap comprises of the following So, if we were to...
For me, I would prefer some... Our line of work requires a...
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that...
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit.
Come instead.
And I can be there
with discretion.
I'd probably use some sort of... I remember that you liked those...
I did. And that...
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not...
That makes sense. You usually solve, but I do have one. If we were to create a trap now...
I would like for it to be a...
Kind, as always. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey.
Wait, why is that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that...
So, are we
We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, but we shall require much more courage than any hunter to...
Oh, so that...
few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening. Paimon didn't think that Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon... well... It's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you around, after all, you're the most reliable person. Did you just pour some... Paimon's never seen that cup before!
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea. I merely refrained... Ah.
Wait. You are familiar.
The voice from the... You're feeling lost now. Just as you were feeling previously. Consider me... The prophecy. Yes.
What?
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Tevat so easily be changed? Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods. Could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gate are the things that you shall see different?
What is she
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part. This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality. Well, that'll be all for today.
The voice. It's gone.
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Mona!
Fine, just fine. Not all Fontainians are pessimistic about this. One journal...
did she have pink hair?
Why, yes! It was sharp. I'm in full support of her view.
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try... Huh? Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty...
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. But I've never met her.
Whoa. The Hex...
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying.
Well, it's not like Paimon could end...
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but perhaps it is something that you... Traveler, Paimon?
Oh, we're fine.
I see. I guess you could consider me someone who has often but even so, I still hope for. Perhaps that's what En was trying to tell you. Not to lose. I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't.
Huh. You do have a point.
There, it was worth trying to comfort you, even if only... I suppose that might be why we always...
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said. But, hey, Traveler, Paimon suddenly Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by. Huh? Our names are written in this newspaper. Let Paimon see! The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery, journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop... Huh. Charlotte took so many awesome photos. She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress. Ugh, serious? Seriously? We're here! Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition, only 16 slices a day! It was so delicious the last...
One slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too?
Wait, did he really say...
That's right. Even he has his own.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from.
Then what if someone told you one day...
But why would it?
Well, Paimon doesn't know I...
Oh, the prophecy. No. It's the same for eating in general.
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more? These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said.
Oh, you know Sijuin?
I sure do. She was born before me, and she said that humans are creatures that are sad. I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now.
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in. It's more delicious than last time. Sure would be nice if we could always eat Oh, we're near the Steambird office. Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon! Oh,
Ha! You've got some nerve!
oh, you needn't worry. It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount.
Really?
You're almost a little...
Well, Paimon knows.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden?
When Mona mentioned you, we thought of coming to see you at work.
I see. It seems you've already bumped into Mona here in Fontaine. So she mentioned me? What did
She said that you're a real...
Nice.
Huh? So your art...
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography.
Yeah. Are we even...
Why not? If I say you're...
Oh. In that case...
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! Ooh, so much to get done now.
Wait, Charlotte. Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If... Just for example...
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to... From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of... Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but and then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it... I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic. But anyway, that's my end.
That's... so not... Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we? The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty... Paimon's been thinking... If it wasn't Fontaine, but... No, Paimon should ask... We've always been moving to the next destination. You mean... still traveling? Huh. Feels like it'll grow, but it's still better than the fortune.
So the 2 of you are still here.
Oh, you're from the Palais
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillat sent me to look for you 2 before. Not at all. I'm well aware that your friend. Yes, inside the opera.
A riot?
Well, that said, Lady Farina was watching a performance, loudly accusing her of doing. And before she could respond, the crowd continued to grow.
So people have started to put the blame on
I agree. People will now.
So what happened after that is Farina.
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control, the Marechaussee Phantom had their hands full maintaining order.
So, you mean
That's right. The Marechaussee has. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god. Good. Monsieur.
Don't worry. This is more than enough.
Is that so?
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know Farina, she won't. And as we also, when Nervalet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and it would be hard for her to ignore. Paimon thinks Farina's Huh. Well, what do you think? In that case, there's not a moment to live. This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible. That's Farina, right over there.
What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. Give up, Farina. I'm sorry, but what can I even do? Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina.
So, it is you.
Farina, you...
what do you mean, tear stain? Who did that They even dare to tout their Archon! I must. Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Marechaussee
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? That's against the rules.
Farina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch up with... This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What? Oh.
Hurry, they're almost here.
Fine. I suppose haste is what... I merely gave in to the sheer...
Yep, that's a good...
What's happening?
Yeah, a quake of...
It can't be.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about...
Yeah, but the people... It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy. I once had informants all over Teyvat. I've tried all kinds of ways too to hold, but all my efforts prove to be futile. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will give up. Indeed, I've thought about fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no hope, but just now. It all, as long as the final moment has. Don't worry. Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to. Don't take any of what I just said seriously.
Come on!
Cher, that's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be a witness. Yes, and if to that is in its entire.
Ladies and gentlemen, now, without further ado.
So, this is what. Do not forget, however, that I am Focalor, the god.
May I interpret these words as your in that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a.
You would draw your blade? I see. It seems like you have made up.
Paimon can't believe it. She...
What the heck is going on?
Wow, how utterly...
Lady Farina, what is...
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding.
Looking for excuses again.
I raised my hands just now to indicate my I will admit that I'm sorry, everyone. You are not the only one. But now, it is time for Farina, will use this trial to show the world the truth. This time, I applaud and rejoice. Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. Woohoo!
Oh, now we're making...
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole... Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic...
All right, then.
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Also, please allow me to... Just how much work did you...
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula.
Navia, the president of...
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more... Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, we arranged for a second group.
So, you mean... the one...
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box, so...
That's right. That house was
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and... was an Archon instead of... My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance. Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Heart... We had to select a location, construct the giant...
So, in other words, the earthquake that we...
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervillette in Cloran's park. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made all so that as soon as I appeared...
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
As for you, traveler, you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived.
Oh?
It's fine. It matters. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the...
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received from...
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too. Oh, let Paimon see. Wait, then that means this. So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of it. Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, all right?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in. I didn't think that this is the first time, Monsieur... According to Monsieur Nervin, I nearly lost. The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be true.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Nervilette. There's no need. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. Of course, it is only natural for humans.
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your Instead, I would like to charge...
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that...
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine.
Yeah, even though Lady...
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either.
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no... See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me if you wish to drop the case. I can promise you as the...
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also...
Well, I tried to give you the... And if I was not the Archon...
First of all, you may be a member of another long...
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave?
A curse. I once thought it, but in light of this claim, perhaps...
You sensed it too, huh, Nervalette?
Lady Farina.
Well, it is true that it...
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Besides, everyone knows that the main for centuries, manifestation, one need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique.
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you...
Didn't I make myself clear at the time?
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of while the court is in session, the principles of... You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty instead of having been created by you.
The real Hydro Archon. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally. You can't argue that.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof.
My power as an...
If that poses a concern...
You don't need to go.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or...
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons... Thus did I give up all of my divine power.
Isn't that?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can...
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please, I'm still the same Farina you knew, right? Please?
If what the prosecutor said is true...
Did she deceive all of us? And all of...
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon...
Wow, she came up with yet another art... It has been established that all Fontanians can do...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right...
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson, including those... So, Miss Farina, if we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, but if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster, I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. If Lady Farina is indeed just a human...
Lady Farina, this test has been unilateral.
Well, of course he had to tell her that.
She's just staring at the...
What's going on? Is she...
Due to the inherent risk of the test...
Hey!
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! Will you believe me now?
Miss Siegewing, if you're
Siege? Don't be nervous. It'll...
Please announce the results of...
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying... She was experiencing the adverse effects of...
Thank you, Miss Siegewing. Lady Farina...
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't...
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems... However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that we don't want anyone...
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, it's a great thing that the...
I can't... Listen to me, everyone. Please think about it. How can you conclude? Also, if I... Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
I don't think anything she says at this point.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't...
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway her. She is too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is guilty. We shall now turn to the Oratrice. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Farina is...
Well, what's wrong?
No, the Oratrice...
Isn't that correct?
However, the exact word to be punished...
That's actually one of the available...
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out.
Farina's been sentenced to death by the...
This outcome is indeed quite strange. Is this sentence really appropriate for the...
Yeah! Even Vacher wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil master...
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly but now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately...
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still...
Fremine! You finally made it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately...
I looked everywhere, but has the trial already concluded?
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the Traveler, I believe that you have already...
Huh? So what do you see?
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro-Arch...
Huh? Isn't the Hydro-Archon just guilty of deceiving... so when you say Hydro...
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine... However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense...
Okay, let's try to recall... The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro-Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans. Does that mean that Fontainians are transformed Oceanids? The second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro-Archon and her... This must be the point when the Hydro-Archon and the Fontainians were branded. The third slate shows the Hydro-Archon seeking... That reminds Paimon, didn't we all... Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontainians have been talking about. We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first.
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontainians can be dissolved in primordial, and the first stone slate tells us that this might be the reason.
That doesn't sound quite right. That doesn't sound... That doesn't...
what is about to take place has all happened before. The true sin of the and the original sin cast down on the people of Fontaine by It's not as simple as falling into. When Navia fell into the sea, the stone slates show the people gathered.
That doesn't sound quite.
The prophecy from the stone slates found its. The fortress of Meropide was near. If we hadn't dealt with it.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly did. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meropide was the surest sign. The prophecy's contents can all be verified by. Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now! So that's how you can make sense of it! But then it feels like.
Let's hear them.
Incredible.
We're.
All Fontainians were originally created by the late previous. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontaine. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably ate. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty.
The Hydro Archon's true sin.
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like. So wouldn't it be trying to show the image in the end? The people will all be dissolved into the water. Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, however, while you were able to decode all the information on the slate, when we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontaine. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon that, however, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontainians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing. Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro...
This really might be too much
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. A key point of the visual on the third slate is they have not been dissolved. which implies that the water the nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of Trials and Justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to. Therefore, the meaning that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though in truth, everything we've done has happened.
What should we do?
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled.
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be fulfilled?
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions. About the fourth slate, you probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes? However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before. This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
It was both dream.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
The truth, the original.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the opera house? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it is chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
Precisely. That whale, therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make it...
We just barely managed to push it back, right?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should... From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature...
That battle maniac. We've always known that he... Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the...
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could know... Even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed...
That's... We've already done everything we can. We've come so far. You can't just tell me that the...
Indeed. That's not how a grand...
I'll fight it to the end.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes. What... Just as prophecies are usually only... Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide. No...
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face.
You are not Farina.
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous.
Fosolo.
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. The heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly...
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my... She knew full well that the prophecy would sure end as one of the seven. She also knew full well that one defies the heaven... So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible... I spent a terribly long time mulling it over. Alone on the ocean floor, I had to outwit the heavenly principles. Allow the... I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreamed... But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I...
So you were also once one of the Oceanids?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit. leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And she could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. Her strengths were of a kind only, but in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human. Anyway, so then I cursed. All part of the plan, of course. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophet? In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace. I suppose now you probably understand why your court.
But Farina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other Odin. I cannot be.
It has indeed. And although she is, it's been 500, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely. Oh, who permitted you to come onto this stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self. All right, it is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Oh, do not jest. I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon me. Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Solidify!
Let's move out.
Let's begin.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Away now.
Farina. Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Be not nervous. Be not afraid. Wait a moment. You're... mirror me? Mirror you.
Mirror me.
The prophecy.
What prophecy? The people will all be dissolved.
Oh.
What's going on?
Yes, it will. And...
But doesn't that mean everyone...
Oh, don't worry. I will tell you how to save everyone, but...
Oh. As for the suffering, but if the prophecy will come true, I'll if there were scales with all the people of Fontaine.
I suppose this would also be the...
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well.
Play at...
That's right. You must be... If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way.
But how will I...
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn... Being a human yourself, remember, your true...
So, how long...
To accomplish this mission, but I promise you, all will...
A trial, huh? The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest... Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydroarch. In truth, I know little about... As the god Focalor, the god of justice, I shall do all within my power to lead you into an age of fairness and justice. Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions, I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to...
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more... assertive.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen.
Wait, what's going on? Right. Mirror me. Calm down, Farina. Think. Assertive. With a strong... Now, I was wondering if some weak pup... Well, it seems that you may consider my previous act. Now then,
so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were...
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep...
We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let up. There is no trouble in this world so long as I, the Archon Focalor.
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports as well as a.
Come now. Besides, none.
If I may be so.
A magnificent, dramatic.
That's true. I fear I lack.
No need for fright. And do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say.
No need to thank me. All right. Deoteria.
He is doing much better now. You're such a...
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports.
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, all manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass.
Well, as...
Really?
I'm...
Oh, is that some... The day is finally over. I haven't had a moment to breathe this whole... But it's good to see that everything's getting... Maybe this is fine.
Lady Farina, here are the new...
There'll be no...
Lady Farina,
Indeed, my dear.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant...
Understood. Keep monitor. I feel utterly...
Lady Farina, I've heard that the first member of our family...
And what... What is it?
Are you crying?
Uh-huh. This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the...
No wonder. No wonder.
So, hundreds of years must have passed. I never imagined. Have I want to tell someone I have conducted, so all I can do is keep heart.
Farina, You don't have to show. Although I don't know what you might be keeping.
Share that's impossible. It was fated right.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be, just share it with me.
A witness. And if Tevat is in its... He's right. I could, but if things don't play out as No, Farina. But what if, Farina, you've worked... Is it such an outrageous thing to... If you let this opera... Think about it. Long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness...
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never
Yes, it had to be done. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5... It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after...
I believe that I understand how your deception works. How would you build on this foundation to save...
Ah, good, good. Of course the Iudex of Fontaine has... I'm sure you've long sensed that the...
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Linny did mention that he heard a... It now seems that that person was you.
And then I became one with the oratories, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes. Alas, your understand... In truth, it is no enactor of justice. Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the oratories take... I mean, did you think I would be my work over these last 500 years? But really, some have already discovered that only the vast majority has been... had to be.
It was all part of your plan.
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor. The destruction of that divine throne.
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon.
But...
Oh, what? Getting sad. The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours.
All you've done throughout the years.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now... Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge. Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea. And that I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that you're Speaking of justice, I have always believed that so, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world. In other words, existence was Egeria, defying the prophecy and ensuring that at this point, we, Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land.
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, at last, I now, in the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living, you are things being as they are. Surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
I, Iudex Nervalette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just happened?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirect?
But since we're all still...
It's time to end this. We must meet.
Didn't you say...
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, we should seize the opportunity to pursue our traveler. Now that the root of the calamities befalling Fontaine, the beast that enacts the prophecy, come with me, traveler.
But how are we going to do that? It's huge!
I've already done my best to separate the power of the primordials. Considering this beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power. We shall look for an opening together. I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility. resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. A chance will present itself. Away now. Solidify! I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within. Away now.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but... oh well. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my... well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point. But they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a...
that power.
Paimon has an idea. It's just that he gave us the impression that she was,
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But so you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too. All in all, it fed.
Miss Skirk?
The point.
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed. So what sort of person is your master?
Oh, right. So you don't know him. His name is Sertologi.
Huh?
I am
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous.
The foul?
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary? Vetterfulnir then? Or Gold Rhindaughter?
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhindaughter's part of the Hexen.
Oh, so you do know that name. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a...
Wait! Didn't you also mention a...
Actually, never mind that. That the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the fontaine back on the surface, in other words, the prophecy that you...
What?
Not to worry. Focalor.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Scans initiate emergency rescue! Hurry!
Hey, lend a hand!
Look! The water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Are you alright?
Yeah.
We're saved.
The prophecy was wrong.
The soil renewed. The Svina di Rasula tax post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited. Old soil can still give birth to new bloom. Skyship winglet. Boon. The various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield over the Institute, with Jurier turning out to be a once overlooked hidden gem. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know. Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier?
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home.
Paimon's curious too! Wait a minute. Didn't we watch everything happen from start to finish? What's there to be curious about?
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best incubators of news, if you haven't noticed. And also, with you around, I'm sure I'll get to see that Duke.
Are you sure?
Oh, this time will be different.
Oh, it's you. What brings...
Hey, we're just having...
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snezhevich. He represented the... Our residents are hard at work as well.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our...
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible.
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials.
Huh? You're here too, Clorant?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina hasn't...
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions?
Forget it.
I see you're the same.
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake...
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. All right, then... Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at... Wow, you...
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Meripede.
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess, too. I asked Sijuin, who told Monsieur Nervillette, and he told you, right?
That's a very...
In truth, Monsieur Nervillette... I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that Ridesley will make a personal
You're right. I've got to treasure...
Stay safe now. And tell me if you...
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic...
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come all the way to the entrance to...
Of course. I'm here to welcome you.
It's an honor to finally meet the much...
No need to thank me. But that said,
Of course.
All right then, this way.
Hey, no...
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to...
Sir, please don't...
But it looks like dear Mr...
No, I just...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet the boat that brought about a miracle. Still, if I might ask...
Huh! Looks like Charlotte...
I have to apologize, but that ship is present...
Really? Well then...
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps...
Did you really have to use the... Well then, 2 solo photos...
Is my hair messed up?
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to...
Ah, see...
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, take some... Sure. Come on, huh?
Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been...
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine...
Other than that flying ship.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through.
You're too kind, sir.
I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but his 3 young followers are still waiting for his return.
He sure did...
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss...
Oh,
What change can there be? The fortress will keep... As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to...
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go.
There'll be a...
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a... All right. Last stop, the docks.
Oh, you know...
Is that really necessary?
It's precisely because we...
Maybe I'm just happy that I managed to...
Yes, you success...
You should be happy for them.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently.
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things.
Trick a friend.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I...
You sure are working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out.
Lynette, could you come over?
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of... Father says that you did a great deal during the...
That's all right. We were more...
Oh, I guess you haven't... After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Nervillet opened negotiations, during which he gave...
A diplomatic gift?
Yes, I was quite surprised. It could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child. Furthermore, Father did also lend significant...
Well, that's true, but this...
I would agree, but I've also heard...
So there's some...
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself.
Isn't he real busy and... But back to the topic. Then...
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui...
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are.
Are you going to... take the nose...
That is our duty as Harp. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single placer. Switching my masks is something I've always done. Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision?
And that's a wrap for me. Huh?
Greetings, Miss Journalist. That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, traveler, Paimon.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving up. I guess this must be life. All right then. We'll be handing out pocket.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see what Neverlette's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he's... entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there! So, you really are here, Neverlette! I didn't think you were going to have free time this...
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met me. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remember. Alright, let's have it then. How was Fontaine?
It is strange.
Whoa. So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged... But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontaine...
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to... Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontanians became true humans.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true, while saying, yeah! And in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's...
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into... But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause. As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focalor deliberately using him to buy...
Guess Focalor had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her... hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got... Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children that...
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall...
Yeah! Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters of...
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayer... Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later...
Paimon
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Farina has already left. What's that all about?
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon. I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she simply said that she was tired. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the opera house.
But she's still got a place to...
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not walk. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear-and... But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalor the Hydro Archon.
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained...
After Focalor passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over it.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex.
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But as such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first inform... Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that...
That's true. That power was derived from the people... Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are also...
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute.
Wow. This ancient...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the...
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point. The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more. As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now.
What complicated consideration...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell... As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
A nation of dragons?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development. Natlan is also the nation of war. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the Knave. The Harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still... When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude... We guessed that there might be some reason for it.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the fit. So regarding this specific issue, I will...
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You...
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me, but I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner...
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Which is why there are so many problems and regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from before. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to—
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my—
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the no-sees actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces.
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special—
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should—
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at— I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them. That means that the no-sees, which are exceedingly element-compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third descender. I wonder, does your body also possess similar—
Like being able to use elemental— No, let's not think about this comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still— Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking.
Alright. Whatever the case, it seems like the—
Yes. All of Focalor's effort—
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those—
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will. I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. And what, ultimately, is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us? It seems from your expressions that you still have— Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Nat—
We'll need a strategy.
you. Stabilize.
Hold the line! My will embodied by ordinance divine. Take your true form.
Allow me.
Obey! Transfiguration.
Let's begin.
Hold the line. Take your true form.
Way now. Solidify.
Rest and rebuild.
My will embodied.
A moment, please. Have a safe trip. Stabilize.